Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhava Jayate. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Gokula Taruni Mandala Jayate. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Damadara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Damadara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Gokula Taruni Vardhana Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Vrishabhanu Dadi Nashashileke Lalita Sakti Guna Ramita Vishake. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashileke Lalita Sakti Guna Ramita Vishake. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. So I'll just read the translation of the song we sung, Sri Radhika Stava, from the Stavamala by Srila Rupa Goswami. O Radhika, O beloved of Madhava, O you who are worshipped by all the young girls of Gokula, all glories to you, all glories to you. So this is the position of Srimati Radharani. She's the beloved of Madhava. And our deities here are Radha Madhava. So Srimati Radharani is the consort of Lord Madhava. We explained yesterday that Srimati Radharani is the Ladini Shakti energy of Lord Krishna. Meaning the Ladini Shakti energy is energy which is for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. or Lord Madhava, as he's described here. Srimati Radharani is the personification of the Ladini Shakti. And she's always in that mood of Mahabhav. In this way, she's feeling always the ecstasy due to love of Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is described here. She's worshipped by all the young girls of Gokula. So Gokula is where Srimati Radharani, Srimati Radharani's home is in Varsana. Gokula is nearby. Gokula is the home where Lord Krishna lives with his mother and father, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And all the young girls in Gokula, they all appreciate Srimati Radharani because she's the most attractive, she's the most beautiful, she's the most charming, she's filled with the greatest love for Krishna. It is said even beautiful women like Mother Parvati and Saraswati, that they all appreciate the beauty of Srimati Radharani. And even chaste ladies like Arundhati, she also appreciates the chastity of Srimati Radharani. In this way, Srimati Radharani is glorified by even the goddesses in heaven. They all appreciate the wonderful qualities which are found unique in Srimati Radharani. So in this way, all the young girls of Gokula, they all appreciate the wonderful qualities of Srimati Radharani. Then the second verse says, You who dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. So, Lord Damodar, another name of Lord Krishna was not only bound up by Mother Yashoda, but he was also bound up by the love of Srimati Radharani. Just as Mother Yashoda has great love for Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna allows Mother Yashoda to bind him up, in the same way Srimati Radharani also has great love for Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna becomes compelled to allow Srimati Radharani to bind him up. Bind him up with her great love and attachment which she has. So Srimati Radharani is described here that she dresses herself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for her. Just as a woman will like to decorate herself for the pleasure of her husband, so in the same way, Srimati Radharani will decorate herself for the pleasure of Lord Damodar. Now, O Queen of Lord Hari's pleasure grove, Vrindavan, which is pleasure grove of Lord Hari, O new moon who arises from the ocean of King Brishabhanu. So the pleasure groves of Vrindavan are the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. Lord Krishna advents himself in Mathura, and as a young child then he is transported to the home of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. So his Bala Leela is there in Vrindavan. Lord Krishna, as a young child, spends his pastimes there in Vrindavan, in the different forests of Vrindavan, and particularly in Gokul. Lord Krishna would enjoy being there with all of his friends, the cowherd boys, as well as the cowherd girls, the gopis. They're all the friends of Krishna. And Lord Krishna enjoys his pastimes there within these groves of Vrindavan. Because this Vrindavan, we should understand that Vrindavan is not a place of the material world, but the Vrindavan is actually the spiritual world. It is the embassy of the spiritual world. Just like if you're living in England and you go to the Indian embassy, then the Indian embassy is different from the rest of England, because the Indian embassy is a part of India. It represents the country India, and the laws in the Indian embassy are the same as the laws which are there in India. So, the same way, Vrindavan is the spiritual world which has come here to this planet for the pastimes of Lord Krishna, to facilitate the loving pastimes of Lord Krishna. We do not think of Vrindavan as being the material world, but rather it's the spiritual world. So Lord Krishna enjoys his pastimes with his devotees there. And we know Lord Krishna killed also some different demons who came there in Vrindavan. So this was all the Leela of Krishna. He was giving pleasure to his devotees. So it's mentioned also the new moon which arose from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu. So Srimati Radharani's father is Maharaj Vrishabhanu. The mother is Kirtida. So Kirtida and Vrishabhanu, they are the parents of Srimati Radharani. So Maharaj Vrishabhanu, he's a king. He's a wealthy man. Srimati Radharani appears there. If you go to Varsana, then Varsana you will see there's a palace there. So this is the palace of Maharaj Vrishabhanu. Okay, and then, O friend of Lalita, O you who make Vishaka loyal to you, due to your wonderful qualities of friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna. So Srimati Radharani is the original pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Originally, Radha and Krishna are one, but they separate themselves eternally for the pleasure of Krishna. As we said, the Ladini Shakti is personified by Srimati Radharani. And then from Srimati Radharani, then there are gopis who come from her. Radharani expands herself in the form of different sakhis or gopis who are all her friends. So they're mentioned here like Lalita and Vishaka. If you go to our Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, you will see on the altar there is Radha and Krishna and there are two gopis. The two gopis are Lalita and Vishaka. And if you go to Mayapur, if you go to our ISKCON temple in Mayapur, or even maybe you go to Tirupati, you will see there that we have not just two gopis, but 8 gopis. In other words, the Astasakis are there. The 8 Saki, they're all expansions from Srimati Radharani, and they're all there to assist in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Their purpose is simply to give pleasure to Krishna. The Astasakis, Tungavidya, Chitra, Champakalata, then Lalita and Vishaka, then Induleka, Rangadevi and Sudevi. These are the names of the gopis who are there on the altar, who are the assistants in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So the gopis, they make arrangements so that Lord Krishna can be with Srimati Radharani. The gopis never feel any jealousy. They never feel any envy. But their only thinking is to bring Krishna so that he can be with Srimati Radharani. This is, you have to understand that these pastimes are not of the material world, but this is the spiritual world. Just like we see Radha and Krishna on the altar, we should understand this is the spiritual world which is manifesting for our pleasure. The Lord comes here in the deity form. He appears directly in the form of the deity. Just as there are avatars, you know the avatars, they come from the spiritual world. Avatar means one who descends. The descent comes down. The Lord is living eternally in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are, first of all, Vaikuntha planets. In the spiritual sky, there are unlimited numbers of planets which are all called Vaikuntha planets. But then there's another region of the spiritual world which is called Goloka. And in Goloka, that is Goloka Vrindavan. Here in this world, we have Gokul, but there is also Goloka, the spiritual world. So Radha and Krishna reside eternally in Goloka Vrindavan. But sometimes different avatars come. The Lord, different forms, different incarnations appear, like Kurma and Matsya and Varaha, Narsimha, then Vamana, Parasuram, Ramachandra. These are all different avatars. Lord Buddha is also an avatar. And also Kalki will come at the end of the Kali Yuga. That is another avatar. Lord Krishna is not avatar. Lord Krishna is avatari. He is the origin of all the avatars. So when Lord Krishna comes into this planet, when he appears here, it's very special. There are many, many avatars. It is said, as many as there are waves on the ocean, so there are avatars of the Lord. But the one Supreme Lord is the personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. He is the original, supreme personality of Godhead. He is not avatar, but he is the origin of all the avatars. So when Lord Krishna comes to this world, he does not come alone, but he comes with all of his devotees, his different associates. Just like when the king comes, he does not come alone. Or if the Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister Modi, if he's going to come, he won't come alone. He'll come with the entourage. There will be many people come before to make sure everything is arranged and everything is nice and security arrangements are there. And so many, and the same way, when Lord Krishna appears in this world, he does not come alone, but he comes with all of his different devotees and associates. They come from different places. Not all come from the spiritual world. We were explaining yesterday how some of the people who come in Krishna Lila, they're the sages from the Dandakaranya forest who desired to have a relationship with the Lord. They saw Lord Ramachandra and they were attracted by Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra told them, you come in my next incarnation. Because in this incarnation, we know Lord Ramachandra is Maryada avatar. And he has Ekapatni Vrat. He made Ekapatni Vrat. He didn't want more than one wife. He already suffered a lot with one wife. He didn't think to have more wives. And so simply told them, come in my next incarnation. And in this way, the sages from Dandakaranya came, and then others were the Shruti-charas, personified Vedas. They also wanted to come in Krishna's pastimes. And so in this way, different groups of gopis, some gopis come from the spiritual world, and then Krishna also invited the demigods to come, because the world was overburdened by demoniac kings. And so Mother Bhumi had gone to Lord Brahma, and she was, with tears in her eyes, she was asking Lord Brahma to please relieve her of the burden of so many demoniac kings who had appeared on her planet. And so the Lord Brahma then meditated on Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu resides in Swetadweep. There's a milk ocean in some part of this universe. There's a milk ocean. And in the middle of the milk ocean, there's an island which is called Swetadweep. And on that island, Lord Kshirodakashayi Vishnu resides. So, Lord Brahma meditated. He couldn't go there, but he meditated on Lord Vishnu. And after some time, Lord Brahma got the message that he was going to appear. And he also asked all the demigods with their wives that they should also come. And they were told to take birth in the Yadu dynasty. And in this way, they all appeared in the Yadu dynasty. And you have great devotees in the Yadu dynasty. You have people like Uddhava And you have also Vasudev and Devaki, these different people. They're all from in the Yadu dynasty. So they all come in Krishna's pastimes. In Vrindavan, however, there's very special devotees of Lord Krishna. And in Vrindavan, you have the cowherd people, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, who are always the father and mother of Lord Krishna. They're the ones to enjoy Krishna's childhood pastimes. And you have also the gopis, like Lalita and Vishaka, who are described here in this song. The principal associate, Lalita and Vishaka, they're the best friends of Srimati Radharani. Just like a young girl will have her friends, so Srimati Radharani, her best friends are Lalita and Vishaka. They enjoy being together. So why do they enjoy each other's company? It's mentioned the wonderful qualities which are there in Srimati Radharani. Her friendliness, her kindness, and her faithfulness. This is what impresses Lalita and Vishaka. And this is why they're so eager to have friendship with Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is very, very, very kind. It's mentioned here. One of our devotees, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami, he's a disciple of Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So he has written a book about Srimati Radharani, describing some of the different pastimes of Srimati Radharani. And he describes how Srimati Radharani was so merciful that even there was a female jackal was somehow stuck in a cave, and it was in great difficulty. And Srimati Radharani came and released it from the cave. So that was the kindness of Srimati Radharani. Usually jackals, we think, oh, they're useless creatures, just troublesome creatures, just don't have anything to do with them. But Srimati Radharani was so kind that she saved the life of this jackal. So this is just an example of some of the wonderful qualities which are there in Srimati Radharani. That she is not an ordinary lady of this world. Actually, she possesses unlimited qualities because she comes from Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna himself has unlimited qualities. He's an ocean of all good qualities. In the same way, Srimati Radharani is also an ocean of unlimited qualities. So then the song goes on, oh you who are liked with compassion, oh you whose divine consciousness are described by great sages like Sanata and Sanatan. O most merciful Radha, please be merciful to me. So just imagine the wonderful position of Srimati Radharani, that even great sages like Sanaka and Sanatan, who are the sons of Brahma. You know the Chatukumars, the four Kumaras? So the two of their names are mentioned, Sanaka and Sanatan. There are four Kumars. They're the sons of Brahma. And they're brahmacharis. They're Naistika brahmacharis. They took a vow that they would remain young, although they're the oldest people in the universe. They're the sons of Brahma, the first sons of Brahma. But they vowed they would not grow old. Right? Would you like that? Would you like that? To remain young, right? Remain young children forever. So the four Kumaras, they were actually the sons of Brahma, and Lord Brahma wanted them to produce progeny. He wanted them to help him to populate the universe. But the four Kumaras said, no, we just want to remain young children. We don't want to get involved with the material world. So we will just remain young forever. So these four Kumaras are great sages. They actually reside up in Tapaloka, which is a planet way up in the top of the universe, just a little below Brahmaloka, below Satyaloka. Above Swargaloka, there are other planets. There's Mahaloka and Janaloka, and then Tapaloka, and then Satyaloka. These are the four topmost planets in the universe. So the four Kumaras, they have their residence in Tapaloka, where they're engaged in meditation. The four Kumaras, they're very great sages. And they also have a Vaishnava Sampradaya. Their Vaishnava Sampradaya is their Nimbarka. The Nimbarka Sampradaya comes from the four Kumaras. And the four Kumaras, where did they get their spiritual knowledge from? They heard the glories of the Lord from Lord Ananta. Ananta Shesha. He gave the four Kumaras spiritual knowledge. And later on, the four Kumaras gave that knowledge to Nimbarka. And in this way, you have the Nimbarka Sampradaya. So Nimbarkas, they have their temple also they have temples like in Varsana. There's a temple there. They also respect the gopis and the position of Srimati Radharani. As you can see here, that they glorify Srimati Radharani. Now, not all the Vaishnava Sampradayas recognize this wonderful position of Srimati Radharani. For example, Sri Vaishnavas, of course, has a long tradition coming from Ramanujacharya, but they don't give any importance to Srimati Radharani. And sometimes even the Madhvas say, oh, there's no mention of Radharani in the scriptures. They say like that. They may say, the name Radha is not there. It's not in the Bhagavatam. But we were pointing out yesterday, actually it is there. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. But it's mentioned in an indirect manner. The word is aradhanam. If you look in the 10th canto, chapter number 30, which is where the gopis are searching for Krishna. Lord Krishna had disappeared from the gopis, and the gopis were looking everywhere for Krishna. So they were looking everywhere for Krishna. And text number 28 of chapter 30 of the 10th canto mentions aradhanam. Aradhanam is where the name Radha comes from. Aradhanam refers to that gopi who was the most expert in worshipping Krishna. Because it happened during Rasa Leela, Lord Krishna had called the gopis to come there, but at a certain point, Lord Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela. Lord Krishna disappeared. Now, there were unlimited gopis, and the Lord had expanded himself to be with each of the gopis. But at a certain point, Lord Krishna disappeared. So the gopis were very anxious. Where did Krishna go? And they began to search, and they were looking everywhere. And they were going through the forest of Vrindavan, and they were asking the different animals and the different trees, did you see Lord Krishna? They would ask the different birds and the deer, did you see Lord Krishna? Where did he go? This was the ecstasy of the gopis. They were looking, searching for Krishna. We should appreciate the mood. What is the mood of the gopis? Just like sometimes we sing the song, the Goswami Astakam. Now the Goswami Astakam is a glorification of the 6 Goswamis who resided in Vrindavan, and they were all followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we sing the song to the Goswamis, Nana Shastra Vicharinai Kam Nipano Sat Dharma Samstapano Lokanam Hitakari No Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Bande Rupa Sanatano Ragujago Shri Jiva Gopalago. This song is written by a great devotee named Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya was one of the students of Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami was one of the 6 Goswamis. He was actually the nephew of Rupa and Sanatan. So this song, Radhika Stava, this was written by Rupa Goswami. And Jiva Goswami was his nephew. And Jiva Goswami opened the school in Vrindavan, and he took the students. And one of his students was this Srinivas Acharya. Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit, they were also students there. There were many students, but they were the top 3, they were the best. So Shyamananda wrote this nice song about the Goswamis, and he describes that I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis. Namely, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are all very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles. Thus they are honored all over the 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. So they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis. I was talking about the gopis of Braja. What is their mood? Their mood is Vipralamba Seva, the mood of separation from Krishna, service in separation. So the gopis were going through Braja. Where is Krishna? Where is he gone? Have you seen Krishna? And they were asking the different people in the forest, all the different living entities. Have you seen Krishna? Where did he go? This was the mood of the gopis. They were searching. And this mood of the gopis, this is what is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we should follow the mood of the gopis. This is the advanced level of devotional service. When you follow in the footsteps, just like when we offer arti on the altar here, before offering the arti, we have to say some prayers to purify our consciousness. So one of the prayers which we will recite before we worship the deities, we will say, Naham vipro na chanara patir na pivaishyo na sudro Naham varni na chagreha patir na vanasto yatirva Kintu prodyanna kila paramananda purnam ritadber Gopi bartu padakamalayor dasa anudasa. This is an important prayer which we have to purify our consciousness. The meaning is that I am not a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Sudra. And I am not a sannyasi or a vanaprastha or a grihastha or a brahmachari. But I am simply the servant of the servant of the servant of that one Supreme Lord who is fulfilling all the desires of the damsels of Braja. So this is how we should develop our consciousness. We want to be Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Das Anudas. This is the mood of the gopis, to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So we want to cultivate this kind of consciousness, Raga Nuga Bhakti, developing raga, attachment for Krishna. And the way to feel the greatest attachment for Krishna is by separation from Krishna. Just like if you have a wife and the wife goes away for some time, then you're always thinking, when will she come back? Because I need somebody to cook, I need her to clean the house, I need her to take care of the children, so many things to be done. And the wife has gone away. Well, you know, when she's at home, you'll argue with her and criticize her and fight with her, and there'll be so many conflicts. But when they go away, then you feel the separate, oh, when they're coming back. So like that, we say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Familiarity breeds contempt. But absence makes the heart grow fonder. So this is the principle in cultivating devotion for Krishna. That if we think that Krishna is here and Krishna is with us, we'll just become over familiar with Krishna and we won't appreciate the Lord. But when we feel separation from the Lord, then we will feel greater attachment for the Lord. We want to cultivate our attachment for Krishna. And the manner in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis of Vrindavan cultivate, they all cultivate their attachment for Krishna by cultivating the mood of separation from Krishna. Vairagya seva, not just vairagya, but vipralamba seva, separation from Krishna. So this separation, this is the feeling of the gopis. They're so anxious that Krishna had left them. Why did Krishna disappear from them? To increase their attachment for him. And initially, Lord Krishna is dancing with the gopis. But then the gopis are thinking, Krishna is with me. And Krishna expanded himself to be with each and every gopi. And each and every gopi thought, Krishna is with me. So Krishna thought, the gopis are becoming proud. I should make them humble. So he disappeared from them. So then the gopis, they went to look, where did Krishna go? And they're looking everywhere. Then, at some point, they found footprints. And they saw, oh, this is the footprints of Lord Krishna. How did they know it was the footprints of Lord Krishna? Because there are auspicious markings on the footprints of Krishna. Auspicious markings are there, like the fish and the lotus and the goad for controlling the elephant. There are many different auspicious markings on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. There's actually 18 different auspicious markings on the lotus feet of Krishna. So the gopis saw the footprints of Krishna, but then they saw another person's footprints, and they could understand this is not the footprints of Krishna, this is the footprints of another gopi. Another gopi was with Krishna. And then that's when the gopis said, Aradhanam. That this gopi has worshipped Krishna the best, better than all the other gopis. This is the position of Srimati Radharani. She is the best in the worship of Krishna. And that is why Krishna disappeared with Srimati Radharani. Of course, at a certain point, he also disappeared from Srimati Radharani. Lord Krishna enjoys these loving pastimes with his great devotees. Lord Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and he wants to enjoy unlimitedly. However, he sees that the gopis are enjoying more than him. And of all the gopis, the one gopi, Srimati Radharani, she is enjoying even more than all of the gopis. Why is she enjoying more? Because she is the most expert in the worship of Krishna. And this is why Lord Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Lord Krishna, he wants to enjoy unlimitedly. But he finds that he cannot do it as Krishna. If he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he cannot enjoy. The person who is enjoying is the devotees. It's the gopis who are enjoying more than Krishna. And that is why Krishna came 500 years ago. Lord Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he could also taste the pleasure of being a devotee. Being a devotee, that is the greatest pleasure. Now, to understand more about the devotion of Srimati Radharani, there's a wonderful pastime took place. And it involves a devotee of the name Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was initiated in the line of Madhva Acharya. And Madhavendra Puri was a sannyasi. He had taken sannyas in that line from Madhvacharya. So Madhavendra Puri, when he was leaving the body, he was reciting a verse, a very, very special verse. It is said, just like Kaustubha Mani is the most precious, the most valuable of all jewels, the same way, this verse which Madhavendra Puri was reciting is like the jewel of all poems, of all wonderful poetry. The verse begins, Aye dina dayadra natahe matura nata kadavaloksha se. Aye dina dayadra natahe. Dina meaning fallen. Fallen, I'm very poor, I'm very fallen. Lord Krishna is Dina Dayal, right? But here, this verse was spoken by Srimati Radharani. This is the words of Srimati Radharani, this verse. And it is said, this verse, only 3 people actually know the meaning of the full meaning of this verse. 3 people, Srimati Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it said, this verse is like sandalwood. The more you rub sandalwood, the more the aroma comes. In the same way, the more you contemplate this verse, the more, the deeper, the more realization, the more understanding you will get from it. So, Ayedina Dayadra Nata He, Matura Nata Kadavaloksha Se. Where are you now, O Lord, O most merciful Master of Mathura? Where have you gone now? My most agitated heart has become unsteady because of not finding you. What should I do now? Madhavendra Puri was reciting this verse again and again before he left the world. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was, because they were in the place of Ramuna, where the Gopinath deity had stolen the condensed milk for Madhavendra Puri. So Lord Chaitanya was recounting the pastimes of Madhavendra Puri, how he was a very, very great devotee. And it was because of Madhavendra Puri that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation in this line from Madhva Acharya. This line, this is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, right? We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the initiation in the line which comes from Madhva because of Madhavendra Puri. Because it was Madhavendra Puri who introduced the worship of the Lord in the mode of conjugal love. Before Madhavendra Puri, there was no conjugal love in the Sampradaya. Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was no Radha and Krishna. There was only Krishna. It was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who introduced the worship of Krishna along with Srimati Radharani. So Madhavendra Puri was the one who brought into the Sampradaya the mood of conjugal love. Try to understand the situation. I said this verse, Aedina Dayadra Natahe Mathura Nata Kadavalokshase. These are the words of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is lamenting, where are you now, O Lord, O most merciful Master of Mathura? Because of you, my most agitated heart has become unsteady. What should I do now? This is the mood of Srimati Radharani. She's feeling the separation because Krishna had gone to Mathura. Akrura had come and taken Krishna away to Mathura just to fulfill the desire of King Kamsa, that Krishna should come and take part in the wrestling. And Srimati Radharani is lamenting that, what should I do now? So Madhavendra Puri, he was reciting this verse again and again. And similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he could not recite the verse. He could just say, Aedina, and he would fall over. He'd fall unconscious, and he would roll on the ground. Tears would come from his eyes. The floor would be flooded in tears. His body would be trembling. He would be unconscious. Lord Nityananda would pick him up and embrace him and bring him back to external consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would feel so much ecstasy reciting this verse and remembering the love, the great feeling which Srimati Radharani had in separation from Krishna. So we're trying to cultivate this. Of course, we're very, very far away. We're very far, but we need to hear about these things, and we can understand more. What is the glory of the love which Srimati Radharani has for Krishna? Of all the gopis, she is the topmost. But all the gopis are very great devotees. They're all very special people. They are not ordinary ladies. Sometimes people misunderstand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, or the affairs of Krishna with the gopis. So we point out, just as there's a difference between gold and iron, right? There's a big difference, gold and iron. In the same way, there's a big difference between lust and love. Real love means to Krishna. Real love is for Krishna's pleasure, for the satisfaction of Krishna. But calm or lust, that is for our own sense gratification. We should understand that in the dealings between Lord Krishna with the gopis, there is no lust. There's no question of lust. These gopis are all great, great devotees. As I said, some are nitya siddhas, come from the spiritual world. Some are the Shruticharas, the personified Vedas. Some are the Tejis from Dandakaranya. They've all come. different groups of gopis. They've all come to give pleasure to Krishna, not for their own sense gratification. The mood of the gopis can be understood more when we hear, for example, Gopi Geet. The Gopi Geet which is recited, that is the song of the gopis in separation from Krishna. The gopis are searching for Krishna, and they're reciting, different gopis are reciting beautiful prayers. Ate sujata charanam burunham staneshu Bitasane priyadadi mahikarkaksheshu Tena tavi matatistatvatatena kimsvit Korpadibir brahmatidir bhavadayushamna Yate sujata charanam buruham staneshu. This is the final verse of Gopi Geet. There are 19 verses. This is the 19th verse. It's a very wonderful verse because the gopis are describing their mood in worshipping Krishna. They say that Lord Krishna's lotus feet are very soft, and to protect his lotus feet, we take his lotus feet and place them on our chest. But we worry that our chest may be hard for his lotus feet. But now, Lord Krishna, because he's gone in the forest of Braja, and in the forest of Braja there are thorns and there are sharp stones, and we're worried, Lord Krishna, what about your poor lotus feet? You must be feeling pain, you must be feeling so much discomfort. This is the mood of the gopis, that they think about Lord Krishna, about his feet, that his feet on that ground, the thorns and the stones, and they want to take his lotus feet and put his lotus feet on their chest to protect him. This is the mood of the pure devotees, of the gopis of Braja. There's no feeling for their own sense gratification. They only care about giving pleasure to Krishna. We said yesterday, we quoted the Shikshastikam prayer. Remember, the final verse. Aslishyava padaratam panastumam adarshana marmatam karotuva yata tatava vidadatu lampato matprananatastu sevanaparaha. The gopi, this we said actually again, this is the words of Srimati Radharani. And she's describing that even Krishna is lampata. Lampata means difficult. Lampata, we think of it more like a womanizer. He's a womanizer. He's a flirt. He's enjoying company of many women. Lampata. So, even if he is lampata, that if by breaking my heart, if it makes Krishna happy, that is my happiness. This is the mood of Srimati Radharani. We get the mood of the gopis earlier in the other verses, Shastikam, that, oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering one moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I'm feeling all vacant in this world. in your absence. Again, the mood of separation from Krishna. One moment is like 12 years or more. That is what happens when the gopis are separate from Krishna. That one moment of time. We told yesterday, the gopis were cursing Brahma. You've given us these eyes which are flickering. We can't see Krishna all the time. We want to see Krishna constantly, but our eyes are flickering and blinking. What kind of creator are you? Jada, stupid. They describe Brahma as being Jada. You give us these useless eyes. So that's also Gopi Geet. And Shikshastikam, similar prayers like that. When will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will all the hairs on my body stand on end at recitation of your holy name? This is the mood of the gopis, cultivating this separation from Krishna, vipralamba seva. And the more we are feeling separation from Krishna, the more we'll develop love for Krishna. So we were telling how Uddhava had been sent to Vrindavan by Lord Krishna to deliver a message to the gopis. And when Uddhava came there with that message for the gopis, he was seeing how one of the gopis was so affected that she began to speak to a bumblebee, as if the bumblebee was a messenger from Lord Krishna. And she's chastising the bumblebee. Don't you come near me. I know all about you. I've heard all about you. Purnamasi told me all about you, what you did in your past life, how previously you were Ramachandra, and when Surpanaka came to you, and you were a Kshatriya, you should have satisfied her, but instead you cut off her nose and ears and disfigured her. So I heard, and then you killed Vali. You hid behind a tree and killed him. Not fair, like a Kshatriya. And then that's not all. I heard before you came as a dwarf, and you came as a Brahmin dwarf, and you begged charity from Bali. And he was kind enough to give you charity, and you took everything away from him and sent him down to hell, sent him down to Sutala Loka. So don't you come near me. I know all about you. I don't want anything to do with you. This way Radharani was addressing the bumblebee, because she saw this bumblebee. I know what you're like. I know your nature. You're just like a student. You come and you take the knowledge from the teacher, and then you go away and you never see him anymore. I know what kind of person you are. You are the unreliable servant of an unreliable master. Who is that unreliable master? She's talking about Lord Krishna. This is Srimati Radharani in the ecstasy, and the greatest ecstasy, Mahabhav. The highest, the ultimate level of bhakti. This Mahabhav, where she's feeling this so much love and so much concern about Lord Krishna. She can't stop thinking of him. As they say, that we want to stop, but we cannot. We can't stop talking about Krishna, although we want to forget him. I just want to forget him, but somehow we just can't do it. This was the mood of the gopis, that how much they had love for Krishna. So we want to understand this is why we are worshipping the glorious appearance day of Srimati Radharani, because she is the pinnacle, she's the ultimate, the personification of the greatest love for Krishna. And we're praying that we can just also develop just even an iota, a tiny fraction of that love which she has for Krishna. So on this day, she's very merciful. You know, on Janmashtami we fasted till midnight. But today is Radhastami. Radhastami is a very kind lady. And we only fast till noon. And we can take prasadam after the noon arti. You can enjoy a wonderful feast. And certainly it will be wonderful because it's for Radharani's pleasure. And one of the wonderful qualities of Srimati Radharani is that she is very expert in the kitchen. Now she can cook very wonderfully, and she will labor over the hot fires all day to cook offerings for Lord Krishna. So these are some points from the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. We will ask if there are any questions or any comments. How long did the Rasalila last for?
Rasalila lasted how long?
How long does the Rasalila? Rasalila lasts one night of Brahma. One night of Brahma. You know one night of Brahma? Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Vidu. One day of Brahma is 1,000 ages taken together. One night is the same duration. 1,000 ages taken. 1,000 ages means the 4 yugas. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. That is one. And there's 1,000 in one day of Brahma. In one day of Brahma, there's 1,000 times the 4 yugas. Meaning, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, it's 4,032,000 years times multiplied by 1,000. So 4,320,000 years multiplied by 1,000, that's one day. So one night is the same duration. That's how long Rasalila is. You want to join the dancing party?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. The relationship between Krishna and Radha is very confidential. The relationship between Krishna and Radha is very confidential. And the Krishna's Rasalila pastimes are a high level topic. Then why do we have a direct deities of Srimati Radharani and Krishna?
Why do we have deities of Srimati Radharani and Krishna? Well, that is the mercy of the Acharya. That the Acharya blesses you with the deity. In some countries, we don't bring Radha and Krishna, we will just put Gornitai. Because Gornitai is they're very merciful. But where the devotees are more advanced and more serious and more qualified, then we give them the opportunity to worship the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. So, it's your responsibility. You have to serve them very nicely. You have brought them here. Now, you should serve them. You dedicate your life for the service of Radha and Krishna. They have been so merciful to appear here. Now you have to take up the service and dedicate yourself to maintain the worship. Just as we're seeing, worship is very nice, you have to keep this standard and even go higher, even improve. I don't know if you can improve, you're already very high standard, but you definitely, at least you must maintain. And try, always try. Remember, it's not only flowers and fruit which makes the worship, but it's the importance is the devotion. It's the devotion which is important. So, particularly cleanliness, punctuality, these things are very important in the worship of the deity. So we have to understand how great a responsibility we have taken to invite the Lord here in this form, and we must be very serious, very careful, and worship the Lord very nicely. Don't ask, why have you come here? You want him to go? You should feel very grateful that he has come. And you should feel blessed that I'm so fortunate, although I'm so fallen and unqualified and unworthy, but somehow we have this opportunity that the Lord has kindly appeared here. And you should serve him. You should give great efforts, great energy to do nice service for his pleasure. Yes? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, he is a student and he is asking that when we come in the association of devotees, so we are able to perform the devotion service very nicely. But when we go at home, and then that time we get into the circle of all the karma we have, the rule, all the responsibilities we have. So this is the circle, Maharaj. When we come to the temple, it's very nice. But when we go away out of the association of devotees, we can't. So how we can get out of this circle and perform devotion service very nicely?
Well, you should just stay. Don't go. Very simple. You know, it's much easier to do devotional service here, so you simply stay here. But you go back, then you're going back into Maya. You have to understand that's what you chose. You chose to go back there, so you can't expect that it's going to be different. Of course, it is going to be different. It is going to be different. And unless you're very careful, then you'll always get back into the wheel of material life, the material circle again. You want to stay out of that circle of material life, you have to be very careful, very strict. So at least for some time, you should come and live here in the temple and get trained. You get a good training, then when you go back, then you can be more careful to keep up the standard. So it takes some time to get trained, to get accustomed to how to practice spiritual life. If you become regulated and you become accustomed to the spiritual practice, then you can go out Then you can go out and you can keep up the standards. Just like we have devotees, we have a bus over there, and the devotees sometimes they go traveling in the bus. They don't have the tempo, they're traveling in the bus. But they keep their spiritual life. They keep up their standards. They keep up the Krishna consciousness. Even though they're traveling around, they're going to different places, but they can keep themselves Krishna conscious. So even you go home, you don't need to get into all the material things. You have to protect yourself. You have to do sadhana. You have to chant every morning. You have to wake up early. You have to be careful. So you have to get training. And you have to get properly adjusted to spiritual life. Then you can go back into the material world and not get caught up in material life. So with everything there's training. Right? You get a job, maybe you get a job working for a company, they'll train you first of all. So you want to be Krishna conscious, you want to be a devotee of Krishna, you have to get trained up. You have to go through the program. We have in Mayapur they have a program, New Devotee Program, NDP. And the devotees take that program, they get trained up, you know. So you can also have a New Devotee Program here, right? You don't need to go to Mayapur to get trained up. You can get trained up here. But you have to give yourself some time. It takes time to get trained. It's not just you come one day and then you go away. You know, you have to come and be here for some time and get adjusted, get regulated to spiritual practice. You have to get convinced, to become more convinced at how important this practice is. Then you take it more seriously.
Maharaj, he is also a student and he is asking you what is the criteria of the age to be in a brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, then vanaprastha and sannyas.
What?
His question is ki what is the age limit? What time should we spend in this ashrams?
Oh, there's no special rules on that. We don't have special rules about that. Sometimes somebody is a brahmachari, they may be very old. An elderly age, they're brahmachari. They live in the ashram though. You can't be a brahmachari and go and live at home. That's not brahmachari, that's bachelor. Bachelor is not brahmachari. Just because you didn't marry doesn't mean you're a brahmachari. And so, but usually, you know, people going to enter into householder life, family life, usually somewhere between 25 and 30. If you get too old, it's a bit too late. It becomes very difficult. If you wait till old age, we had one godbrother, he got married at 70. Yeah, not very good. You know. So, family life, householder life, you should be young. You should be like 25, 30. Because family life is you're meant to have a child. If you get old, you're not going to have a child. And so, you have to consider, generally, you know, there's no hard and fast rules for that. But you don't want to wait too long if you're thinking about entering into family life. Generally, you should do it earlier rather than too late. But it's good to get trained as a brahmachari, and then the good brahmachari can make a good householder. And the good householder will go on to Vanaprast. You enter into family life doesn't mean you stay in that family life. You go on to Vanaprastha. The Vedas say, Pancha Sordvam Vanambrajit. From the age of 50, you go to the forest. Of course, Kali Yuga, difficult to go to forest. But Prabhupada said you go to Krishna consciousness movement. You come to the Krishna conscious center. You don't keep working, old age. You have to retire. Take up Krishna consciousness seriously. Right? We get old, half the age is over, 50, half the life is over. At least half the life is over. You have to prepare for the next life. And it takes time. And the preparation for that is you come to the Krishna conscious temple and you take up full-time service with the devotees, doing service. We need people. We need volunteers. There's no salary. Volunteers, right? We don't need workers. We need volunteers. You come and work for Krishna. You can get prasadam, right? Just like Gandhi. Roti ka premakan. Bas. Don't need more, right? If you've got roti ka premakan, what more do you need? Everything. Yes. Okay, Prabhu, yes.
Repeat again.
Yes, speak again.
Maharaj, could you please tell me one statement that can summarize the Bhagavad Gita?
A statement that summarizes the Bhagavad Gita. Well, there are many points. You have to understand many things in Bhagavad Gita. If you want the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, then Sarva Dharmam Paragyashanam Mamikam Sharanam Braja. Lord Krishna said, you give up all your dharmas, which are materially motivated, and surrender to me. I will free you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So that's 18th chapter. Text number 66, I think, or 65. So that's the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, to surrender fully to Krishna. But if you want 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge. Krishna said, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru mami vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyosime. Like that. Always, Krishna said, engage your mind in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me with love. Write that. That's the most confidential knowledge. So there are different levels. What level do you want? There's knowledge, there's more confidential knowledge, there's the most confidential knowledge. We could just say, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara. That the embodied soul changes from boyhood to youth to old age. But one who is Dera is not bewildered by the change. And so understanding we're not the body, Atma Gyan, that is knowledge. Then you've got more confidential knowledge. Understanding the Lord's energy, how we are the energy of Krishna, how we are not the controller, we're simply the energy. Krishna says in the 7th chapter, he says, Apariyamitas tvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yeidam daryate jagat. Beside this material energy of mine, O Arjuna, there's another energy, which are all living entities. So we are the energy of Krishna, we are the prakriti of Krishna. That's an important part of Bhagavad Gita. Understand these things. So there's so many things to be understood in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvamitad ritamanye yammam vadasi keshava. Arjuna said to Krishna, now I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. So that's also important. Accept everything Krishna says as truth. Don't doubt it. Take the words of Krishna as truth and follow the instructions. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, we would like to know about how Baldev Vidyashan Prabhu established the worship of Radha and Krishna in our Gaudiya Parampara.
Who?
Baldev Vidyashan Prabhu.
Baladeva Vijayabhusan established the worship of Radha and Krishna. I don't know, maybe you can tell me. Baladeva Vijayabhusan, I didn't. Did he establish the worship of Radha and Krishna?
In the assembly of all the four sampradayas, all the Vaishnava sampradayas, he especially the Ramanandis, he established the worship of Radha and Krishna is the topmost.
From
I think he's mentioning the of when they wanted to Radha Krishna deities, the Ramanandis, and they said it is not bona fide. So I think he's talking about that.
Are you talking about that? About the Ramanandis? And how they challenged that we didn't have any commentary on Vedanta Sutra? Well, from the Vedanta Sutra, from the commentary which Baladeva Vijayabhusan wrote on Vedanta Sutra, then you could say he established the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. I'm not so familiar with exactly what he said in his commentary. I've read only Prabhupada's commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, Baladeva Vijayabhusan, but of course Prabhupada appreciates Baladeva Vijayabhusan's commentary on Vedanta Sutra, which is called Govinda Bhashya, the speaking of Govinda. So, actually, you make the point that he established the worship of Radha and Krishna from his commentary on Vedanta Sutra. I've never heard that point stressed before, to tell you the truth. Usually we hear simply that he wrote the commentary, he gave the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But I've never actually heard you must have read something I haven't.
I read, Maharaj, I read in ISKCON Desiratory only.
Where?
ISKCON Desiratory.
Desiratory.
About Baldev Vidyabhusan Prabhu, they mention how he took up the challenge by the mercy of Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, and he went to Jaipur and he was stayed there. Within 7 days he wrote Govinda Bhashya. And then
within 7 days?
Within 7 days.
Hmm.
And then in the assembly they keep on asking questions and he is refuting. And then he established. Actually what happened, the Jaipur kings, they separated the worship of Radharani and Krishna. Earlier they were together, but due to the influence of this Ramanandis, the king changed the worship pattern. And then the king is very pure devotee, he was very much attached to worship of Radha and Krishna. He informed the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially at that time was Vishwanath Chakra Thakur was in lead position. So he invited him. Because of his ill health, he appointed Baldev Vidyabhusan Prabhu and he went there and he established the fact that worship of Radha and Krishna is the topmost. But I don't know about detail, how he defeated and how it
yeah, well, I have not studied the commentary of the Vedanta Sutra, but I did know about how he'd been brought there on behalf of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that he'd gone there and the challenge from the Ramanandis that the main challenge was we didn't have a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And of course, it was said, well, Srila Vyasadev's Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, because Srila Vyasadeva had written both Vedanta Sutra and Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Srimad Bhagavatam was a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But then the Ramanandis were challenging that all the other sampradayas have their commentary. Shankaracharya has his commentary on Vedanta Sutra, Nambarka, Sri Vaishnavas, and Vishnu Swami, they all had their commentary. Only so they were saying Gaudiya Vaishnavism is not a bona fide sampradaya. And of course, Govindaji deity was there in Jaipur. So I've never heard this part before, which you bring up, that they wanted to stop the worship of Radha with Krishna. That's something I didn't hear before. That's interesting. So Baladeva Vidyabhusan anyway did that service. He wrote that very nice commentary, which Prabhupada appreciated, and Prabhupada dedicated his Bhagavad Gita to Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So Maharaj, yesterday you said that Prabhupada used to greet Hare Krishna instead of Radhe Radhe. He was very conscious when he used to about the word Radhe. And Srila Sukdev Goswami is also writing Radhe in a hidden form. But when I'm traveling or when I'm doing something, so I sing some Vaishnava bhajan, in that the word Radhe comes, and my mood is also not good. Like I'm traveling, if someone pushes me, so I feel like angry mood. So I am not conscious and my mood is also not good. But our acharyas were very pure devotees and they were very conscious. So what can be done? Should I, in the unconscious mood, can I sing the Vaishnava bhajan in which the word Radhe comes?
Yes. Why not? Certainly. We can sing the Vaishnava bhajans. The songs are there. You can sing them. There are some things which are confidential, just like there was one book, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati read it, and it was very confidential pastimes. And he said he wanted to have the book published. Bhaktivinoda Thakur told him, he said, you can publish one copy for yourself. So Vaishnava bhajans, you can sing Vaishnava bhajans if you like. But Prabhupada says, when you sing the Vaishnava bhajans, you must know the meaning. If you don't know the meaning, then there's no benefit. So when Prabhupada would sing a Vaishnava bhajan, he would also give a commentary on it. He would speak about it and explain it. So it's not just simply singing. But of course, we have to say the name Radha. The deities are Radha Madhava, right? But are we just going to say Madhava? No, it's Radha Madhava. You can say the name Radha. I don't think we're not like Sukadeva Goswami, that he's going to go in ecstasy just hearing the name Radha. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, his question is that mostly what he does, he has a small Laddu Gopal deity in the ashram. So when he comes to Radha Madhav, so he doesn't have the feeling of Dasa Bhav. He has the feeling of a Vatsalya Bhav, just like Mother Yashoda and the Nanda Maharaj have, because he worshipped the Laddu Gopal deity. So what he can do so that he can have a Dasa Bhav first in the beginning?
Well, that worship of Laddu Gopal, that is not in our sampradaya. You've taken that from some other sampradaya. Right? Are you connected with some other sampradaya?
No, Maharaj.
Do you know how to worship Laddu Gopal?
No, Maharaj.
Laddu Gopal is a child. You have to worship him as if he is a child. So when you offer to him, you have to offer special things like milk and milk sweets and things which are very easy to digest. It's a very special type of worship. And it's done by people in another sampradaya. We don't ourselves do that kind of worship. So you're doing something, for one thing, if you're staying in the ashram, you shouldn't have your own deity upstairs. That's not right. We've got deities here. The deities are here. You don't need to have your own deity upstairs. It's not a good idea to be keeping deities in your own room upstairs. I mean, we had this problem before, sometimes at some point in Vrindavan. All different devotees in Vrindavan, they had their Shaligram Shilas and they had their different deities, and they don't come to the temple. Because they're doing the puja upstairs in their room, they're doing their own puja. You come in the temple, deities are here. What more deity could you want? You've got the most beautiful deities here. You should take part in the worship here. You're worshipping Ladu Gopal, you're not doing it correctly. You didn't learn worship of Ladu Gopal from anyone. Nobody taught you.
Maharaj is saying that like before coming to Krishna consciousness, he was worshipping at his home only. So that's why he has a small attachment of continuing that thing. So what he should do?
Leave the deity at home. Give the deity to your family. You come to Krishna consciousness, this is our program. We worship Radha and Krishna, Gaurnitai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. You don't see Ladu Gopal. Maybe during Damodar month, maybe we'll see a resin deity or something, but it's not our process. We're not, that's just the worship. The supreme form of the Lord is Krishna playing the flute in the threefold bending form. The worship of Ladu Gopal, that is not the supreme worshipable form. All right. Any other questions? Yes, marriages? Marriages have some... Yes, give her the microphone.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I have one doubt. Though Radha is a lover of Krishna, but I heard many times from you that Srimati Radharani. Why the title is given Srimati to Radharani? As she is the lover of Krishna, but she is unmarried woman. As I heard from the Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata. Can you please clarify my doubt?
You mean, is she married or not? Yeah. Are you asking? Huh? Well, we have to understand Radha and Krishna are one, but they separated themselves. So Radharani, Srimati Radharani comes, she's the Ladini Shakti, to give pleasure to Krishna. Now, Jiva Goswami, who is one of the prominent acharyas, Jiva Goswami, he had Radha and Krishna married. And you can read in his book, one of his books, he has them married. Because at that time, there was so much objection that Radha and Krishna are not married and they're associating, it's very bad. But I was explaining the mood that there's two types of association, right? There's married, in married life, there's an unmarried, right? You can, so that before you get married, you enjoy more the relationship. Before the young man and the young woman are married, they're very deeply, the affection is very strong. After married life, after living together for some time and children and everything, you know, it's not quite the same. It certainly go through a lot of changes. So, Krishna is appearing to enjoy ras, to enjoy the exchange, the loving exchange. And he gets the greatest pleasure from the unmarried relationship. But Jiva Goswami, he had them married he wrote his book, he had them married. So it's a question of whose book you want to read. Actually, you know, they never really married because Krishna went off to Dwarka and he married there in Dwarka, Rukmini and then Satyabhama and then the other different queens all came, you know. There was Jambavati and Bhadra and Kalindi. These were all different wives of Krishna. And then he married 16,100 princesses who were all unmarried. They needed to get married. Krishna married them all. But the gopis, that was when Krishna was a young boy. That was his childhood lila. You see? Later on, he goes to Dwarka. He moves to Dwarka. And there it's a different Leela. He's a prince. He gets married. But while he's a young boy, he was enjoying the loving exchange, the dealings with the young girls. So it's like that. And later on they met again. Later on the gopis got the chance to meet Krishna again, and Srimati Radharani also came. It happened at Kurukshetra. There was a solar eclipse, and Lord Krishna came all the way from Dwarka, and he brought all of his wives with him, and all the great sages. They all came from Dwarka to Kurukshetra to observe the solar eclipse. It's a very, very special pastime. And Lord Krishna knew he was going to Kurukshetra, so he sent a message to Vrindavan. And he told all the gopis they should come to Kurukshetra and they should meet him again. Now previously, Krishna had gone to Mathura. When he went to Mathura, the gopis didn't get to come. The gopis had to stay back. And all the cowherd men, the gopas, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd boys, they all went to Mathura for the wrestling match. But not the gopis. Gopis had to, somebody has to stay back, right? You have a lot of cows and children and everything. So the gopis stayed back. And the cowherd men, they went to Mathura. But when Krishna came to Kurukshetra, that was some years later. Krishna's going to Kurukshetra, and he's coming with all of his wives. He's already married. He's bringing all the wives with him. And he tells the gopis to come. And the gopis all came from Vrindavan. Radharani, Srimati Radharani also came. And they saw Krishna. And when they saw Krishna at Kurukshetra, they did not like. They thought, this is not the same Krishna. Maybe you have that experience. You come to Hyderabad, and you go back to from Hyderabad, you go back to your village after a long time, and the people say, oh, you're so different. Oh, you've changed so much. You look different, right? So Krishna came to Kurukshetra, and Radharani, she knows Krishna's married. The gopis, they know Krishna's all married and all of his wives are there. So they see Krishna, but they can't speak to to him because he's a married man. They have to be careful. They can't just go up and speak to the lady's husband. And the gopis are seeing Krishna and they're feeling oh, Krishna. They see him, but they can't go up and talk to him. So the gopis want to bring him back from Kurukshetra, to bring him back to Vrindavan. They say, we don't like this Krishna. He's become a prince. There's no peacock feather. There's no flute. He's not a cowherd boy anymore. We'll take him back to Vrindavan. So that is Rath Yatra, the first Rath Yatra, bringing Krishna from Kurukshetra, bringing him back to Vrindavan. Because Kurukshetra, there's so many soldiers, there's so many elephants, there's so many military, very noisy. But Vrindavan, there's only cows and peacocks and Govardhan Hill and the Yamuna. So the gopis say, we will take Krishna back to Vrindavan. You understand? Krishna enjoys ras. He enjoys the greatest ras with the gopis because they're not married. Wait, there was another lady had a question, right? The other Mataji has a question. Give her the microphone, the lady behind. Where's the mic?